1.8 million foreigners now call the Philippines home, a 340% increase since 2019, and 60% say they'll never leave. But what they discovered there was not what travel blogs promised. It was something far more unsettling and far more beautiful. Meet James Mitchell, 36, software engineer from Seattle who quit his $140,000 job and moved to Manila with $52,000 in savings. What happened in his first 6 months, their challenges, everything we think we know about expatriate life. Before we go further, if you are enjoying this kind of deep dive into global living trends that actually affect real people, hit that subscribe button. We are uncovering stories that mainstream channels ignore, and your support helps us keep digging where others stop looking. James's first week in Manila started normally enough. He found a modest apartment in Makati, unpacked his life into 2 suitcases, and prepared for the standard expat experience of polite distance and gradual integration. On day 3, his neighbor Kuya Ben knocked on the door with a plate of freshly made lumpia, the Filipino spring rolls that appear at every gathering. James tried to pay. Kuya Ben looked offended. By day 5, James was invited to his nephew's baptism. 80 strangers welcomed him like a long-lost brother. By day 7, he had 6 job referrals, 3 invitations to join weekend basketball games, and an adopted uncle who called him pair, meaning buddy or equal. In America, neighbors ignore you for months. In the Philippines, they adopt you before you have finished unpacking. But here is where it gets complicated. This is not the casual friendliness of a tourist destination. This is community membership, immediate and non-negotiable. Foreigners report feeling suffocated by kindness in the first month. Every errand becomes a social event. Every meal becomes a group activity. Privacy, the kind Americans treat as a human right, becomes a foreign concept. The 2023 Internations Expat Insider Survey ranked the Philippines 3rd globally for ease of settling in. 89% of foreign residents felt immediately welcomed. But that same survey revealed something darker. 34% reported feeling overwhelmed by social obligations within 3 months. The warmth is not passive. It demands reciprocation. James almost packed his bags in month 2. Here is why nobody talks about this part. Your $3,000 monthly income buys what $8,000 bought in Seattle. Restaurant meals cost $3. Domestic help costs $200 monthly. Beachfront property rents for a fifth of California prices. The economic arbitrage is extraordinary. Meet Marcus Webb, 62, retired high school teacher from Austin, Texas. His teacher's pension, which barely covered rent in America, now funds a 3-bedroom villa with ocean views in Dumaguete. He employs a housekeeper, a driver, and a gardener. His quality of life improved by measures he struggles to quantify. But there is a catch locals are starting to hate. Marcus did not realize his dream retirement was someone else's displacement. The Asian Development Bank's 2024 report on Southeast Asian housing markets shows foreign residents drove 23% rent increases in retirement hotspots over 4 years. In Dumaguete, Siargao, and El Nido, local families who lived there for generations now commute from cheaper inland areas. Coastal access, once a birthright, became a luxury. Marcus learned this the hard way. His landlord's daughter, a nurse working in Manila, came home for Christmas. She needed to move back for family reasons. She could not afford to rent in her own hometown because properties were priced for foreign budgets. She told Marcus this directly, not with anger but with exhausted resignation. What she said changed everything he thought about living there. She said, "We are happy you love our home, but we cannot afford to live in it anymore." That conversation haunts Marcus. He still lives in Dumaguete, but he is different now. He mentors local students. He employs only local contractors. He turns down villa upgrades that would raise comparable rents. It is not guilt exactly. It is awareness. The paradise is not free. Someone always pays. The healthcare paradox makes this economic inversion even stranger. The 2024 WHO Southeast Asia Health Systems report confirmed what expats already knew. Philippines' private healthcare quality matches Singapore at 40% the cost. Robert Chin, 54, businessman from Colorado with a family history of heart disease. He needed cardiac surgery after a serious episode. His doctor in Denver quoted $78,000 for the procedure, not fully covered by insurance. St. Luke's Medical Center in Manila charged $11,500 for the identical surgery, same stent brand, same surgical standard. He flew business class, stayed in a recovery facility, and still spent less than his American deductible would have been. But the public system tells a different story, and it is breaking hearts daily. Two-tier healthcare means world-class private hospitals operate within walking distance of overwhelmed public facilities where patients sleep on floors waiting for surgery slots. Expats with insurance skip every queue. Filipinos crowdfund operations on Facebook, hoping viral posts will cover costs. Robert volunteers at a public clinic now, teaching basic health monitoring techniques. What he learned there keeps him awake at night. The preventive care advice he offers for free would cost $250 per consultation in America. Here, patients cannot afford $8. This is the weight nobody warns you about. Your privilege becomes impossible to ignore because it sits next to someone else's suffering in every waiting room, every market, every conversation. Some expats cannot handle it. They retreat into gated communities and avoid the contrast. Others, like Robert, lean into the discomfort and find ways to balance the scales. Neither choice feels entirely right. English is everywhere in the Philippines, which is exactly the problem. David Thornton, 41, runs a digital marketing agency from Manila. He moved there in 2022, hired a Filipino team, and operated entirely in English for 2 years. Business ran smoothly. Profits grew. He considered it a success. Then his assistant quit, and in her exit interview she said something that shattered his comfortable assumptions. She told him that the entire team resented that he never tried learning Tagalog. Not because they could not speak English, because his refusal felt like colonial arrogance. The 2023 Ateneo de Manila Sociolinguistics research shows 78% of Filipinos view foreigners who refuse the local language as colonial-minded. English gets you transactions. Tagalog gets you respect. And respect changes everything. David spent 6 months learning basic Tagalog after that. Not fluency, just functional communication and genuine effort. Workplace dynamics transformed. Productivity jumped 34% in the next quarter. Staff turnover, which had been 40% annually, dropped to 0. His team started inviting him to family events. The business relationship became a human relationship. But language reveals something deeper about why people stay. Learning Tagalog forces you to learn Filipino culture. The language is built around relationship hierarchy, respect markers, and communal thinking. You cannot master it while maintaining Western individualism. The language rewires how you see the world. James Mitchell, who struggled with Tagalog for months, describes it like this. English lets you stay separate. Tagalog makes you belong. Once you belong, you cannot imagine leaving. Here is what nobody mentions in the expat vlogs. The Philippines will love you, but it will also expect things from you. James became godfather to his neighbor's son, which sounds sweet until you understand the implications. Godparents in Filipino culture carry financial responsibility for their godchildren's education and major life events. It is not optional. It is a binding social contract. James now budgets for school supplies, birthday gifts, and eventual college contribution for a child who is not his by blood but is completely his by commitment. Marcus funds his driver's nephew's college tuition because the family assumes, correctly, that he has resources they lack. He cannot refuse without destroying relationships that matter to him. Robert employs his friend's cousin as a driver because not hiring him would create community-wide fallout. These are not complaints exactly. They are observations about a system that operates by different rules. The University of the Philippines published anthropology research in 2024 on Utang na Loob, the cultural concept of debt of gratitude. It is the invisible architecture holding Filipino society together. When someone helps you, you owe them. Not legally, but morally. That debt passes through generations. It binds communities through webs of reciprocal obligation that foreigners enter without reading the terms. The warmth is not free. It is an exchange system. Those who stay learn to navigate it. Those who leave call it suffocating. So after everything, the economic exploitation, the healthcare guilt, the language barrier, the social obligations, why do 60% of expats refuse to leave the Philippines? Because the Philippines does not let you stay a tourist in your own life. The warmth forces connection. The economics force humility. The culture forces growth. You cannot live there without changing, and most people discover they like who they become. James now speaks conversational Tagalog, employs a local team for his remote software consulting, mentors young developers through a foundation he co-founded, and sends his godson to a private school with better resources. His life is more complicated than it was in Seattle. It is also more meaningful. He describes it like this: in America, I had a six-figure salary and loneliness. Here, I have less money and a family of hundreds. I will take the family every time. Study after study confirms this pattern. The 2024 Global Expat Quality of Life Index shows Philippines residents report 40% higher life satisfaction than those in Thailand or Portugal, despite lower infrastructure scores. The difference is not material comfort. It is relational depth. Humans are built for community, and most modern societies have forgotten how to provide it. The Philippines remembers. It is not easier there. It is harder. The infrastructure frustrates. The bureaucracy baffles. The traffic in Manila tests sanity. But it is real in a way that gated expat communities in Mexico never are. You cannot buy your way into superficial comfort and stay emotionally detached. The culture will not allow it. You either engage fully or you leave. Most people who make it past the first year discover they do not want to leave. The country gets under your skin, into your routine, inside your identity. You stop being an expat and become something else. Something harder to name but impossible to abandon. You do not move to the Philippines. The Philippines moves into you. If you have made it this far, you are clearly someone who thinks deeply about what makes a life worth living. Subscribe now, because we are just getting started with stories that challenge how you see the world. Hit that bell icon so you catch every upload. So here is the question nobody is asking. If a place demanded you become a better person to stay, would you accept the deal or run? Drop your answer below, because this debate is splitting the expat world in half. And if you are considering this move, watch what happened when an American family tried the provincial Philippines for 90 days. The link is in the description. What they discovered about themselves was more shocking than anything about the country.